All right, chat. Welcome back to Fight Night. Got game 2. Emosaru versus Andy. The Duchess of Sass versus the Boy of Pug. Who's going to win? We're going to find out very, very soon. Guys, you see the mode. Does she burn her shirt? We don't know. It's key sanity. Did she specify? Let's play some keys, guys. The 3 hundo in the starting chest. I didn't start the timer again. Solsky, please start the timer. Oh, God. Rookie mistakes, guys. I'm not used to the hotkeys, right? I'm an F6 guy. I'm not an F7 guy. All right. So that's my excuse. They're just so fast. They're up here, like, physically impossible at 16 seconds. It's fine. Yeah, Emo versus Andy. I don't know if Emo can make it further into the brackets with this match. But she can definitely dumpster Andy, which she is known to do on occasion. So that's kind of what's on the line here. And oh my God. All right, so Andy has gotten 2 early boot seeds. Let the conspiracy theories flow and the plot armor be numerous. But early Ice Rod, early boots, both from the Sank, or the Uncle Route start. The Sanctuary to Kakariko stands are just in shambles right now with this boot find. Like, actually destroyed. It's gonna take him a month to come up with a new methodology now of like why you shouldn't Uncle Route after that opening. That's just nuts, man. Like 2 good potential key items with that Ice Rod, but the boots are really nice. Emo likes the boots so much her stream can't keep up with it. God, thanks for joining tonight, guys. But yeah, tournament action here. Andy versus Emo. Key sanity. I think the only thing to talk about with this, guys, you might be able to guide me with this because I haven't been following this tournament so closely, but I believe the key logic is kind of different here. And we see a Pearl at the Lumberjack. Yeah, so KT smalls are vanilla. GT, big key has to be in GT. Those are like the 2 main rules. So it's key sanity. They still have to do Aga. This is such a dumpster fire already, guys. Like what an actual mess. We see bomb crabs. The crab is saying, "I don't want it. I don't want any of this." My lord, and we already have an early blue mail. So a lot of good items to start here. So not quite like the earlier match, but a little bit more faster paced. You know, no pun intended with those early boots. And a late, what is going on? What is this? Is this like that ludicrous speed from Dunka's ladder? Like, what is actually happening right now? This is a pretty crazy start. So yeah, key sanity kind of sucks, not gonna lie. I don't mind keys. I don't mind it for like a mode. For competitive, I don't know how I feel about it. I did the we had the key sanity tournament. I want to say it was fall 2017. Maybe it was 2018. 2018 kind of rings the bell. And that was a bloodbath. Boy howdy. Like that was our first taste of a different randomizer mode other than standard and open in a tournament setting. Other than like we did entrance, right? Like if you want to call that a tournament, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty rough around the edges, guys. But like just to have like competitive mode with variant was not really well established at that point, and it's really hard to kind of explain unless you run it. Like it's kind of an awkward feel, but you kind of get used to it. Just gonna fix Emo's crop a little bit. Chat standby. Just a wee bit of a touch there. I think that worked. Maybe that's not overtouched. It's fine. I see a small key to Hyrule Castle. Okay, good. Book. Boomerang. Just a lot of items. What is this? So, traditionally, guys, when you see a lot of items early on in a keys seed, you know that you're going to get dumpstered by the keys, generally. Because now the fill is kind of opening up all these things you can do. But guess what? I don't have any, like, gold, plated keys to use anywhere. So, that's usually the early tell for me. Andy doing the risky chicken clip stat here. Strat. But manages to not hardlock his game. I can't think of any time I've done it, but I never do it because of that. Just why. But yeah, no, what would be running through my head right now, guys, is if I get a ton of items by Kakariko and Hyrule and I don't have any keys, I know it's gonna be a rough seed. Because I know now that the seeds generate it with a ton of items in mind on the early end, and now knows that, hey, my keys are gonna be my challenge. And that's not something you really want. Because when you go to a dungeon, with a key seed, you're expecting to double dip a couple of dungeons. I feel like I'm going to double dip every dungeon when I get this starting get. So, we do get a Meyer big key. So that's our first big key that we see here. So that's the Hyrule small key and a Meyer big key so far we've seen. It'll list off all the items. Red Boom, Mushroom, Ice Rod, Fire Rod, Book, and Boots. That's a pretty serious haul for the first 5 minutes of the game. Big Key to Meyer kind of one of those who cares kind of things. It's so early. You're not going to go there right away. You know where the pearl is. So it's not something that's really on your radar. Both our runners electing to go for the South Shore play, which I like. See if Andy throws down the anti-clown defense. We see a mirror there at Dam. Okay, interesting. Fortunately, Andy cannot, and same for Emo, cannot mirror block those blocks because they've already pushed them. This is a pretty fast start. By fast, it's going to slow down. We all know it's going to slow down. Or at least I know it's going to slow down. You guys might not understand. You're like, nah, Solsky, they got tons of items. How can it go wrong? I know, guys. Trust me. Just wait. This is going to be... I think this is going to be a bumpy ride. Alright, Andy says no to the Agina play. And he's going to elect it to Moldorm here. Has the Ice Rock. Going to use it on the first Moldorm. Imagine Emo probably will do the same. Nope. She's like, heck it. Bombs. This is fine. See a shield from Andy's side. Some money and some trash. Just a map. And her first sword. Alright, so we got our first weapon of actual use, which is that sword. That's really nice. Just needs one more, and then he can just, like, rush Aghanim's Tower for that pearl. Because getting that pearl with, like, that Dark World access does get them an early prod, does get them to, I guess that's for it right now. It's really just that. They don't have a hammer, they don't have a glove, they don't have a hook shot, flippers, so they can't really do anything else with it. It would just be straight to pod if they chose to go Dark World early. Which is pretty gross, not gonna lie. And just $20. So guys, Andy and Emo are actually pretty good pals in the non-Weberverse, right? So I imagine this is going to be kind of a fun matchup for them. You know, you hear a lot of times runners will say all the time, you know, myself included, it's always fun to play friends, right? So even though like it might not be the ideal mode, as Andy does a nice little Jesus dash there, Emo's going to do the same. Is that you kind of like playing against friends. It just kind of makes it a little bit more relaxing and chill, and you kind of have a little bit more fun with the game. So I'm not saying like they don't like playing against other people. It's just like, you know, it's like when you play with friends in a tournament setting, you're like, oh, this is, you know, this is so much better, right? Like there's so much less pressure. I know I'm getting myself into. It's, I don't know, it's just kind of a preference thing, right? And we see a route divergence here. Emo gonna go ahead and go full Zora here. You never go full Zora. And as I say that, she just kind of turns around. Andy, meanwhile, gonna go ahead and do Hobo first. So what Andy's gonna do is he's gonna do Hobo. He has the option S and Q. Or he can go direct to Zora there with that 500 rupees. Emo, unfortunately, is about 60 rupee shy, and I don't believe we saw that stun pack. So she'll be forced to get some, to rob that hobo blind, unfortunately, of his life savings. It's a really sad story, I know. You know, robbing a homeless guy under a bridge. It's shameful, really. But Andy didn't seem to have problems with it, and Emo's going right there, and it's just, you know, it's a circle of life, guys. Stun is 20? Okay, perfect. So then if Emo has that knowledge, which it doesn't seem like she does because she SNQ'd and went past those crabs. Unfortunate. So Andy's going to have an early look here at Zora. This could be a big play early on. Not in logic yet. We don't have flippers. We don't have a glove. But we do have the money. And, you know, what's more important than money in life, guys, right? Like, everyone wants it. Zoras dig it, you know. Zoras are like the Ferengi of the Link to the Past world, right? They're like, ah, ha, ha, money, you know. For those in chat that know what a Ferengi is, I'm proud of you. But for those that really know what a Ferengi is, you'll know that's exactly what would happen. So, Andy just got really hacked. And Emo did not get hacked. Emo saw the flippers on this desert ledge. Andy probably will be heading over there. No, he's going to make me a liar and going to go to Castle Tower instead. In Hyrule Castle. Meanwhile, you know, Emo has those flippers now on lock. And now she's thinking, heck. I could have maybe done Zora if I had the money. Because now he's in logic, right? So. It's okay, guys. The king of fish is going to get her as well. Don't worry. It's going to happen. Everyone gets their due. Andy again going to the back first. It is, again, it's a mode that doesn't have a guaranteed map or key percentage in this Dark Cross. So I understand why he's making this play. It's just, I guess he does have the mirror. He can just mirror it out. But he's like, nope, I'm going to go back 3. Shut up, Solsky. I know what I'm doing. Emo also saying, shut up, Solsky. I know what I'm doing. Going to get those flips. You know, good for them, guys. They need to kind of, you know, smack back a little. I can't just always talk crap about them all the time, right? All right, Emo going to give us our first look at the Agena Cave. Andy, meanwhile, going to give us our first look of the back of Escape. See the map of Turtle Rock there. Heart piece. And a Master Sword. And young Andrew is going to climb from here. So he's going to do the other portion of Escape. No, he's not. He's saying bye. He's not saying goodbye. He's just saying bye. No, never mind. He's just going to go back in. Andy, please. I see Swingy as chat. Are you referring to the sword, or you're referring to Andy's like decision making here? Because that's awfully swingy. Chat, contrary to popular belief, Andy's on a 10-minute delay here, and he's definitely not messing with me. There is no way that Andy would have the forefront to think, you know, I'm just going to mess up Solsky here. I'm just going to do this and then do another thing and then mess him up. Zero chance. And I'm not saying that Andy's not smart enough to do that, but what I'm saying is, all right, Andy getting a small key to Dark Palace. Emo, unfortunately, has not gotten that Master Sword yet, but you know what? Has that all the gear, nice gear that Andy had. We'll definitely go to the back 3 from here. So our runners pretty close by each other. I would honestly say advantage Emo for having those flips. And the reason I say that is that Andy has that Master Sword, and he's going to climb GT now. And by GT, I mean CT now. Because those Castle Tower small keys are vanilla. Now, does Emo know about that? I wonder. Okay, maybe I should rephrase it, chat. Does Emo remember that? Because when, like, I get it, she should know. But does she remember? Andy with the spooky music on the climb. Again, gonna run into these vanilla keys. Kind of a quirky thing. I think this was put into play in League, if I remember. Where it was like the faux keys. The hottest new mode that set the Link to the Past randomizer community on fire. And its Discord channel in League. Regarding faux keys. And some backstory on that, guys. So it was like the smallest thing that they're like, hey, let's just, you know, have 80 keys or something like that. It was key sanity of some sort. And they're like, yeah, let's just make the Castle Tower keys vanilla because Castle Tower sucks. No one likes it. You know, they're like, oh yeah, we'll put that out as a mode. And then like people were like, whoa. Bro. What are you doing to my keys, bro? Why are you changing things, man? And then people got mad. Emo got her Master Sword, is going to climb as well. I think, again, the right play in both are on her shoes. Andy's actually lucky Emo doesn't have a hammer or hookshot right now, because I think that would be a really big early swing, honestly. Because Andy will find those flippers eventually. It's just a question of when at this point. But Emo having those flippers, she doesn't know how big of an advantage that is early over Andy. Again, has to be a pairing situation with, say, a hookshot or a hammer. I guess a hookshot would be required, right? To get that hookshot across on the West Dark World. I'm thinking hammer and glove to kind of get across, but you got flippers, right? So you need one of the three to get across to the hookshot spot. All right, Andy with the premier waiting music here as we approach the Aghanim fight. Unfortunately, since many logics ago, the blue ball cycles are random. Totally understand why the developers made that decision. I just probably prefer them not to be randomized. I think it's kind of a quality of life thing. I feel like in tournament modes, I feel like it's, you know, people would swing either way. And you know what the arguments would be, guys, is, you know, I don't like it being randomized because, you know, it just takes too long and it's stupid and it's not fun. You know, that's kind of like where I'm at. But, you know, the purists, I guess you can say, they're like, no, I want the randomization because then there's more risk to doing the play. And I get both sides. Me, I'm kind of indifferent. If you ask me for an opinion, I would say I probably prefer the randomization to be off. As Andy is going through quite a few balls of blue. But it's seeded RNG, so Emo will run into the same situation. But I guess that's kind of where my thoughts are at. I don't know. Everyone's different, right? Like, everyone has their opinion on it, so that's just mine. Just not having a good time. I don't know what the blue balls are at, but I know it's a lot. This is... okay, now this is funny. Chad, is this going to be the Fabled 15? We're at 8 now. Okay. So that should be 3 energy balls if it's at 8. My math skills are... oh my... is it actually going to be 15? Okay. There we go. Okay, I didn't know he had that many more energy hits in it. I would have known that 15 was impossible, but I was hoping. I was hoping, guys. So yeah, that's why that's why the randomization sucks. That's like a good soapbox for it, but again, I understand why it isn't. Okay, so Andy gonna complete here. He's gonna basically just dash on over to pick up his pearl here. Very NMG-like routing here. Not really the same because he wouldn't deal with these guards. Actually, he would. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Because Agatara changes the monster layout. I was thinking the Master Sword pull for some reason. That's incorrect. I was thinking two different things. All right. Surely Andy's first bonk of this match. He's gonna get that pearl. Pretty sick spot for it, honestly. But I feel like the early boots kind of levitated both our runners to check that early. So the early boots were kind of a big savior because I feel like Andy doesn't like checking that without boots or unless without direct Death Mountain access. He definitely doesn't check it early, so it's good that we got those early boots for both our runners to check it early. So Andy's gonna go ahead with this pearl. Kind of an interesting play here is gonna just say heck it. And the reason why he's saying heck is because Pod's his only play here. He doesn't have a hammer, doesn't have a glove, doesn't have a hook shot. Doesn't have those flippers, certainly, from Emo. So his play here is actually just a dash in a Pod. Is Key Sanity does have 2 small keys for Pod already. So we'll be able to do a bunch in Pod here. So Andy's toolbox is a little bit more refined, shall I say, than Nemo's. I mean that in the nicest possible way, right? What I mean by that is that Andy's going to have the option to Pod hover. So that's a hover where he's going to hover along the rail, clip in, and just kind of save a lot of time on that right side. So while Emo might know Mimic Clip, for example, and obviously she would know the bottle glitch to get through right side Pod, Andy's just going to have a potentially faster look. Eastern Palace Green Pendant. The classic. I didn't really think he had mirror that he can make this play, so I feel like this is pretty strong running at this point. Tier small, a swamp big, and a Thieves Town small. No memes in my chat, please. This is a meme free zone. This is a restream of the highest of quality. Please. Thank you. Andy has $4 to spare. Good lord. Alright, so Emo has her pearl. Wondering where she's gonna go at this point. Where can I find Andy channel? You can follow and subscribe the Andy channel at www.twitch.tv/Solski. That's where Andy traditionally resides and streams all his content. The twitch.tv/Andy that you guys know, that's just his side channel. So don't worry about that one, guys. All right, so Andy opening up the right side here, and he's gonna set up. So he needs to set up to the top right corner, and he's gonna try and hover, basically put himself into the rail there, and he's gonna have to get up a little bit lower on that chest, and there we go. Really nice time save. That saves over 30 seconds. That's a really, especially doing it first try, gets a red cane for his effort too. Oh, is this like the Drake song? Like first name Andy, last name Solski. Is that a Drake song though? No, that's like a mashup. That was like a bunch of people. I remember. I had like Eminem and everything. Okay, so Emo has knowledge of the Eastern, making a very similar play to Andy. Bonks to her delight against that torch. That charges her RNG for if and when she lights this shirt on fire. Nothing in the basement. So the red cane, the big find here in Pod. Honestly, this isn't what Andy wants to was kind of looking for here. I feel like Andy's looking for that West Dark World access, or is looking for pieces of like better Dark World access. So Hammer here would get them like Southern Dark World up into Dig Game. So that's a kind of a nice consideration. It's just interesting because they don't have a bow yet. So this is probably, I feel like with the keys, obviously not in Logic yet. So this is very late game. Gets a sword for his effort. So the red cane out of Logic, the tempered sword definitely out of Logic, needs 6 small keys for Pod for that, and gets a red mail as well. So I would say that's a pretty stacked pod dark maze and key sanity. Like normally when you do that play, you're like, oh, this is gonna be trash. There's gonna be nothing here, and then you get the goods. That's a really nice find. Emo's starting off with Eastern, so she's actually a little bit ahead of Andy here. I feel like she's protecting the small keys to pod. Honestly, not a bad play early on. It is a pretty early part of the seed. And she's only missing like one piece for like significant Dark World access here, right? So I get the methodology here. I actually like the play of holding off to pod. I feel like it's a really nice but tight play. But it's a really strong play, I feel, in her position. Just gonna get bombs here on the right side of Eastern. Andy really wanted to hookshot that chest, but can't. That's what the new kids are calling Sag. That's sad with J at the end. It's a frog thing, guys. Like he's, you know, it's a Twitch thing, right? It's a mopey ass frog. That's all it is, guys. It's a mopey ass frog. Blue boomerang. God, there's like nothing here, is there? There has to be something here, though, right? What else would they have? I don't think they have anything left. There's nothing left, right? Oh, you know what? They have the bottle. They do have the bottle. I don't believe either of our runners put in the mushroom either. So mushrooms available. Emo did check Agina. So Emo's going to go through pod here. Andy's going to leave because he's already kind of done all this stuff. Andy probably heads to desert next. Going to get those flippers and he's going to be more confused. So, classic keys, guys. This is what I was talking about. We got a lot of items early. They're in for a rough ride. And this is like part one of the ass circus that they're going to have to go through. Where it's literally just going to be, hey, I gotta dip this dungeon. I can't finish this dungeon. I gotta dip this dungeon. I can't finish this dungeon. And it's just gonna kind of go on until they get all the keys they need, because they're pretty damn close to go mode, item wise. I know that's like an overstatement, but like they're getting there. For 27 minutes in, that's pretty substantial what they own. Alright, Emo is going to do the Mimiclip here. Mimiclip sucks. It is obviously illegal. I did vote it in when I was on the council. Lol. I don't mind it being in the race scene either. Andy sees the flips. I just think it's so time consuming. In hindsight, I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is gonna open up the game, and then I like realized finally how long this stuff takes. I'm like, That's okay. You can just like, I think the reasoning behind it, and this is why I kind of voted on it, was it was like Andy and Miramong were like the only ones that could do the pod rail hover at the time. Miramong didn't race for a long time. And hasn't like since, right? Like I think they stopped racing around 2018, but in the hot rando scene of 2017, you know, Miramong and Andy were like the only two that really pull off that rail hover, and it was huge, right? Because like the potion glitch wasn't really known at the time, and then that became like a big equalizer, right? Because now all of a sudden, like you didn't just like hovering just took a big kind of like step back on like how good it was to know and have in your toolbox, because now I don't have this like omega powerful move that I can get to pod items that no one else really could within the race scene. So it was good to see it there. I know we like talked about like the PC or the potion glitch, and that was definitely an in for me. But then Mimiclip was questioned as well, and I said, well, it's like same with hovering, right? Like you got boots, you don't have a bottle, I can just hover forehead. Why don't you just, if you have that ability to just do it, like while you with your inputs, then you know what, you might as well. You've let every other thing in, right? So that's kind of my rationale behind it. You believe it or not, we're not just like sitting there and we're like, oh, quick swap, good. Quick swap, good. We're actually thinking about things, guys. Believe it or not. So Andy getting up. Oh my god, he sucks, doesn't it, guys? Andy getting the Bamboozle Express with that big heated desert at the witch's shop. So that's something that both our runners had accessibility to super early, but like, why the hell would they check it? So that's pretty bad. So now that's 2 checks Andy can do. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's 1 because he doesn't have a glove yet. So literally, it's just the big chest at this point. So he's just gonna exercise his freedom of choice here, and is gonna go cash in this bottle. You know, I'd probably do the same thing. I would be happy about it though. Okay, and the bottle is a heart container, so it appears, at least in my perspective, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Desert Big Chest has to have something here. This is, guys, this is like S tier bad seed right now. This is S tier. It's only 30 minutes in and they don't have like regular Dark World. Oh god. And that's the best part too, right? Is at this point you'd expect it to be a hook shot. It could be a glove. But Hook just opens up so much more. Could be also a hammer for South Dark World. My money's on Hook. Opens up 2 dungeons. Opens up the variety, pretty much the grand mean of West Dark World and all of it in the South. So my money's gonna be on the hook shot coming up here. Emo gonna spin to win here at Zora. Is probably saying, I swear to God, if this thing has something, I'm gonna freak and just burn this shirt early. If she does burn the shirt. And Andy's just contemplating why he joined this tournament. All right, let's see what this in that big key, the big chest here. He left. That's a mistake. Oh no, Andy, no. Oh god, I know what he's thinking, guys, but he should have stayed. All right. I can't wait for the hammer or something now to be at like Lamo. All right, glove's a really bad item here because it opens up 2 things. It opens up Lamo and it opens up Death Mountain, which is Andy is exercising right now. So odds on favorite. No, he's not playing SMZ3, but he doesn't really need to. He's still going to win the match here. With the math, and he's gonna get a look at 3 items plus Hera. And Hera and Key Sanity is pretty powerful, so he's gonna want to go up there. He doesn't have a hook for it though, I guess, so it's not as great, but math wise this is the play. I kind of like how this is stringing him along too. It's very Plando-esque. It's a very popular term, guys. Like when runners play seeds like these, it's the first thing that comes to mind in their vocab is like, I hate this goddamn Plando. It sucks. It's the worst. Emo saying that big key gives the look of, do I forfeit? And says no. Andy, meanwhile, seeing bombs in Spec Rock Cave. Nothing there. Just a heart container again on Spec Rock. Nothing really of value. Tactfully avoids the lyricist. And we have Ether Tablet coming up here. I actually forgot about Ether. And it's just Titan Mitts, casually. All right, so there's our Dark World access. Easy. Casual 34 minutes Dark World access. No big deal. Guys, hold on. I think we're coming up to like this is gonna be like a 152 hour seed. And the oh god, there's the flute. All right, well that's good because now that opens up Mire area that they can dip. They do have a big key, and Andy has broken that red cane, as is Emo. So now you can basically just full clear Mire. So I feel like that's the easiest play coming up without a hammer here, is to just kind of press onto that. You're a little tapped for resources with like life. But I feel like both our runners are probably just going to gravitate to that early. You could do West Dark World early as well, but I don't feel like that's necessarily the play here. No medallion? They'll just throw the bird at the entrance and it'll open, all right? Like that's the skeleton key under the rug. It's just the bird. Just grab it by its like little legs. I don't know. Does it have legs? Feet? Just like huck it. Just like. All right, Emo, I'm gonna go to the back desert here. I like this play. You know, some might call me a pleb for liking this play, but I actually like the play. It's an early stab. You don't know what's in Mountain yet. You know, you do have Glove, and you can't open that up. I'm thinking maybe it's here, right? And you might find something that's pretty pog here, too. Like, there's a lot of good items still off the table. There's a lot of keys still off the table. Keys are the name of the game at this stage. We are in the midpoint of this seed. We do have actual Dark World access, not this, you know, hunky-dory, I'm going through Castle Tower to get my Dark World access just to pod stuff. This is the real deal, the real McCoy. And this is where the decisions are really going to come out. So Andy's going to go ahead and kind of flex on an, I want to say a safer play here to Skullwoods. Skullwoods a little bit nicer in Key Sandy. We had this chat for the map compass shuffle game that we saw earlier. We're going to have that same chat and conversation now, is that it is a better dungeon to kind of dip in, especially without a fire rod. Emo going to make relatively quick work of the Lammo. Has an extra cycle there, but gets a small key. What's that small key for? Ganon's Tower. Unfortunate. Not a very useful key, but does now have the crystal lead at 1 crystal to 0. And we do know that desert is a crystal. So the early edge to Emo. Andy, meanwhile, having the mitts. Emo, though, will find those mitts like within the next minute. Like, that's really her next play. And I think that's like her only play at this point. So it's pretty much a no-brainer. Nothing really too much else she can do. So Andy going in. We know Skullwood's a crystal as well. We can see that nice little icon there. So a more recent addition to the randomizer client is that I think it was a door randomizer thing initially, where it would tell you if the dungeon was like a map or a crystal or a pendant. And then it was something that they kind of merged into the main branch of the rando. And it's actually a really nice quality of life. I really like that. All it is just like less mapping to see like what your dungeon is. And I think it's a really good, cool kind of feature that can show you, hey, it's a crystal or a pendant. So I really like that functionality. Again, Andy playing super tight here. Has that early mirror. Is going to be checking this North Dark World route. So we're going to get Graveyard and King's Tomb as well. Probably going to chain that into... Well, he's got options. He could go to Quakefish here. Or he could just continue that on to south to Thieves Town, Village of Outcasts, and Hype Cave, which is a lot of good density. Is probably his better target for a Key Sanity, but we'll see like how safe he wants to play this. So like key situation now, Andy, I think him and Emo have more or less the same keys at this point. They have the same big keys, so like Swamp Palace, Ice Palace, Mire, and Desert. Not really other functional small keys. They both have that Thieves Town small. And nothing really else to talk to. Andy playing very conservative here. Going to go to the Quakefish. I really like the early play here. So I'm not going to knock it. This is something I would like to do here. So again, going back to that mentality of, you know what, I'm in my groups. I'm in my qualifiers. Do I really need to risk right now? Not really, right? Like, it's definitely not a make or break game for Andy, and like even so, it's probably just the better play to kind of just play, let the C play out, and just kind of worry about other people taking the risk. At least in this stage of the game. It also depends on like who your opponent is and like where you're at and who's in your group and everything like that. But generally, it's pretty safe just to kind of play it this way. All right, so Andy is going to gravitate towards Meyer here. Does do a little bit of safe here with the skull. I'm going to mix it up a little bit with the spicy with the early Meyer. I really like the play ahead of Hammer, especially with that Thieves Town small. He's really protecting against that, so I feel like that's a really good call. Gets rewarded with a fire rod and a hammer in the Meyer shed. That's a really big pickup for Andy. That's the West Dark World Deluxe. So now he has full access to Finished Skull, which is a known crystal, and barring a big key find for Thieves Town, we'll be able to full clear that. But again, protecting that small key for Thieves. Yes, I know you can't full clear Thieves right now anyways without that big key, but this fact stands. If he goes there and it's now all of a sudden Thieves Town Big is there, like now he's looking great. And sure enough, first thing he's going to do, guys, is he's going to go back to West Dark World here, and he's going to go to the Village of Outcasts in Thieves Town. Forgetting to beat Lambo again. It's one of those things, I get it, it's keys, so it's kind of risky not to do it. But I feel like Andy will chain that in eventually anyways. Emo making a very similar play here. Again, not surprising. It's going to map here. It's going to show that Thieves Town is a crystal. I believe TR was a pendant as well. It blinked all the wrong blinks when I looked at TR. I don't know why. But, okay, TR was a pendant. Awesome. Excellent. So we're going to follow up with the, you know, Spec Rock, or the checkerboard play as well. Andy going to go ahead and just murder Mothula. No big deal. It's just a bug, guys. It's fine. Emo also going to flute away. So wants nothing of the early Meyer play. I feel like what's going through both of their heads is that, you know what? I don't know if Meyer's a crystal or pendant right now, and I know it's severely out of logic if I full clear it. But here's my side chat to that, right? Is that everything they have right now for Meyer is in logic. And you're going to say, but Solsky, they don't have the medallion. And I'm going to remind you guys, they have the murder dactyl that they can just huck against that, huck against that medallion thing. And just got to open it up. Guys, these are the commentaries I can't have on other platforms because they would just be like, nah, man, you can't tell, like, can't lie. But I can lie on my channel, so it's good. Easy every time. Am I okay? Yes. Andy making quick work of Moth. Emo heading right over there. Gets another bottle. All right, well, not really too much developing here in Skull. It's looking like the rest of Village of Outcast to hype is kind of the play here. Andy again checking the early pedestal. This is, again, very smart. Maximum health. It's just a heart container. He's out of here. It's very, guys, it's very smart to make these plays at this point in the game. So the earlier you can get that ped read, that's like functional. And what I mean by that is that I'm not wasting a lot of time checking it. The better your chances are to guard yourself against these one-off scenarios that can be absolute nightmare fuel for you later down the seed. Like, nothing's worse than finding out pedestals required when you almost last location it. And your competition could have checked it way earlier than you have. Like, those are the things that are just going to, like, wreak havoc on your mental state. Just get it out of the way. Figure it out first. I agree with the play. Nothing in the chess game. Emo is, meanwhile, regretting the fact that she has sword beams, but is still getting the Moth against non-spikes, which is good. But Moth still sucks, so it took a couple extra hits anyways. Just a map to swamp. Small key to Dark Palace. Okay, so another key to Pod. Not really relevant to the conversation right now because, you know, they've, for the most part, full cleared it. But it's relevant in the fact that now they can just go to Helmasaur once they find a bow. But that's an easy pod key, so that's a really nice safe one. And again, they've both been there. Emo also electing to make the pedestal play very sharp. Great read, great call out. Annie not able to progress through Thieves. Gonna have to mirror out here. And we're gonna get a look at C-shaped house, and then we're gonna make our way down. Probably do the Smith's Purple Chest hammer pegs. Don't see why not along the way. Just a compass to desert. Bonks the wall in disgust. Again, good tight matchup so far. Not a lot of swing. You know, Emo had a little bit of an early edge with the flips. Just developed that Pod didn't happen to have the answer when they're both in and around the area. And, you know, she does have the Desert Crystal as well. So it's still a 2-1 lead for Emo here in Crystals. So I definitely don't want to narrate that, you know, everyone's favorite Pug Boys in the league, because that's not necessarily the truth of the matter. So I feel like we're pretty much, I want to call it even Stevens. Big key to Skullwoods. Key Sanity continuing to find a way to just make our runners' lives miserable and puts keys in the worst spots. That's a tester, honestly, for Andy, because he's going to be in the area. Does he commit and go back? How safe does he want to play this? Taking Smiths is not going to tell me the answer. It's going to be what he does after that. Emo, meanwhile, electing to say see you later. Sayonara, if you will. And is going to go right over to Hype Cave. Has Titan Mitts, so it's going to be able to kind of route in south to north. I don't necessarily mind it. I'm a little surprised by the play, but I don't think it's a bad play. It's just a play. I think a lot of people get really hung up on that, right, guys? Like, oh, this play is bad. This play is good. You know, there's so many, like, things you can call it, like, whatever. Again, I think it's just a play. Desert's small. Interesting. We also got Bombos. Guys, was Bombos the thing that was going to save... Oh, Myers a Crystal. Nice. Was Bombos the thing that was going to save that Murder Dactyl from getting thrown against the door? And then you're going to say, check my tracker. I'm going to laugh at you. I know it's Quake, guys. I'm just... I'm just over-memeing. One would say. Interesting enough, Andy is going to have the purple chest here for 45. Is running this down. Is going to be able to check Bombos as well. Emo getting the earlier look. But Emo will be able to mirror, or not mirror, but flute over to cash in this purple chest anyways. So Andy going to go ahead and just relieve himself of carrying around that purple chest using a nice little cool, I guess recent question mark, probably about a year now, glitch where you're able to just kind of not worry about the purple chest at all. As long as you mirror around that desert thief, and he'll unlock this mystery chest for you. So what's telling you guys in a life story is you didn't actually have to bring the purple chest there. You just wanted to see your company, but only under circumstances. Like the real prize for him was the magic trick of his just magically appearing. And then he gives them whatever he was using for the last 12 hours. And then Andy's just going to make his way over to Bombos. Sees Andy just materialize out of thin air and says, I got to get off this stuff, guys. Here, you take this, man. I don't want this anymore. Okay, Emo gonna pick up her big to Skullwoods. Probably in a better route, actually, now that I think of it. But not really, because now she has a decision to make, right? Andy, I guess they both, it sucked for both of them. But her decision, I think, is harder now because she doesn't have the South to go fall back on where Andy did. So Andy's was like a way easier call to say, no, I don't want to do this. Now, like, Emo has Purple Chest Smiths to worry about. And hammer pegs, and then it's like, do I just do North Route after that, or do I go back to Skull? And the answer is probably go back to Skull because she can save her portal here. So what she can do is drag the chest to close to the 3 mid spot where the Thieves Town entrance is, and just flute over to drop off the purple chest, and then flute back to easy Dark World access, go to Skull, and then go forward. All right, Andy's gonna make the play to Desert here. So he's going to go back now. He has that small key as well. So knowing what we know and what he has, he doesn't have very many good options left. But one good option that's kind of hovering over both our runners' heads right now is the East Death Mountain play. So they still have that via the mirror and the newly acquired hammer in 8 items, plus the 2 from the Super Bunny Cave. And then the 1 in Logic for Hookshot Cave. Did somebody say hover? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, jeez. I can't wait for Andy to hover again. Oh. You guys know that's what you're thinking. I just gave it to you on a silver platter. You're welcome. I don't think Andy had anything significant on that right side desert. Emo, can you menu like slower, please, next time? I wanna understand the map. Oh, that's fine. Let's play it live. Okay, so Harriet is a crystal as well. Swamp, I believe, is a pendant. And that's all we know. So we don't know about Ice Mire. Mire we know is a crystal, so we don't know about Pod or Ice. Ice and Skull are red. So that'd be the last pendant, right? Okay, yeah, Swamp's pendant, so we know it all. Yep, you're right. You are correct, because Eastern's the other pendant, yeah. Solsky, this is why you need a tracker on the stream. I know you're all saying it. I know you're all thinking it. This is why you need to read chat more. I am reading chat more. Andy gonna make the play to Ice Palace at this point. I think Strong One has the hammer now, has the fire rod. Bombos as well. Obviously for Cold Star, I wouldn't expect him to Bombos the Freezors. Just a waste of magic. Nice, pretty clean fire rod shot there from Andy. Alright, Emo going in for the purple chest now. How do you play this, Emo? Yep, so she's gonna mirror and flute away. And do you come back or do you just kind of leave? Alright, the gold sword in not Freezor, the Pengator chest in Ice Palace. Fun fact, that chest has had items in both seeds. Both of them had some form of key sanity. Interesting. Heart piece there on Andy's side in the big key chest. Emo following suit, gonna make the exact same play here, not surprised. Ice Palace is a pretty free dive of a dungeon. They also have the big key, so they have full access to complete the dungeon. Our runners are playing really good tonight, and they're reading the seed very well. They're playing the seed very well. Like, as bad as the start was, like, I feel like they're playing it, they're approaching it pretty wisely. They also don't have too much left they can do. But yeah. You know, the old Swamp Palace dive, right? Like, they have that, I guess. It's a thing they can do in some reality, but not in theirs. So they're gonna say no to that. Just bombs in that big chest, not too much. Other than that butter sword / gold sword, nothing much. They did get an ice small in there as well. So while Emo has the big key, she doesn't have any ice small keys. And there's another ice small key here. What is this? Oh, that's hilarious. So for Emo, she can't hit the she wants to hit the switch here because it costs small keys to go through that door. And yeah, she can get a pot key. She could get a pot key to get through, but it's just it's one of those things you don't really think of, but you think of and you're like, just rather not do it. Okay, it'll be interesting to see if we find here, if anything. We know the answer's not another pod small. And you're gonna elect to bombos the cold stare. Doesn't have enough magic. It's the reason why he's electing to. Nice little heart piece there for his reward. In some soothing music from this Tunic MSU pack. So I believe that crystal advantage is now gone for Emo. It's a 2 for 2 now. Skullwoods and Ice for Andy, and Desert and Skull for Emo. Oh, Andy has Desert done as well. Never mind. Never mind. 3 to 2. Gamers. We have a lead change. Not like too much of a lead change though. She'll be caught right up soon. Andy going to swamp? Question mark? Or is this the Fat Fairy play? Fat Fairy play. Okay. I was gonna say that's pretty bold for one item. What do you follow up with this though? Where do you go next? I feel like Death Mountain's the play. I'm kind of surprised neither of them have done it yet. But not really, given that Ice Palace is a crystal. I believe Andy knew that, and Emo did not. Just in context of the race as well. All right, chat room. Do you think it's gonna be 9 clowns coming out of this, out of these chests? It has to be 9 clowns, by the way. It might as well have been. A maybe useful ether. It's not quite what young Andy's looking for. And here comes the East Death Mountain play. So I expect Amo to follow suit. And by yawning is in no way, shape, or form indicative of me being bored by this match, because I'm not. I'm just a little tired, guys. I don't want to say it's a snoozer, because it's not. All right, Andy can actually make the Spike Cave play early. I'm surprised he's not going for EDM. Because he can route Spike after, right? Like, maybe he's just making the play here. Oh, Andy. No, he's done. He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough. Oh, he can do the You can't. There's nothing he can do, chat. That's unfortunate. Spends the blue potion and also wastes a little bit of time there. Rather unfortunate. So he had some issues actually with his earlier game too. And we see it here again, but a little bit more. Gets another red. Is he getting a double up here? Andy's on tilt right now, guys. Oh my god, he's so mad, guys. That's another chat room thing. So, like, that's another fun thing I always notice is that, like, people are like, "Oh, this guy's steamed, man. He's so salty. He's so mad." It's not, guys. Hey, you guys know I got a clown horn, right? Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I haven't really balanced the mic on this the scene collection, so hopefully you just didn't get like a whole clown up in there on the headphones. If you did, my bad. When did I get clown juice? I have a fully functional clown costume that I've worn on stream, and will continue to do so. Yeah, I put the horn way away from the mic. I'm not gonna like shotgun it right in your guys' ears. Like, that'd be crazy. Hey guys, isn't this funny? Whoop. I'm just gonna like ban on Twitch for all the ear problems I just gave everyone. Do it? No, I'm not gonna do that. Thank you. Emo checking Big Chest Skull, did not see what Big Chest Skull was. I was too busy thinking about clown things. But given Emo's movements, I'm going to assume not the greatest. Alright, so Andy reclimbing here. Okay, so I get why he went through the 2 potion phase. He didn't want to go through... he didn't want to spawn on Pyramid again and have to flute back up for another time loss. But I feel like it's kind of the same, almost. I feel like you burn time at either end, right? Like, but does he really need the resource? The answer is probably no. He has red mail and a yellow sword, so he's good for potions. He doesn't need the red at any time, way, shape, or form in the seeds. So, and Emo's kind of follow up on some of the things that Andy's done. Just a smidge earlier. I don't want to say too long, just a bit, maybe about 10 minutes. I don't know. But after that, she's going to have to come up here too. Andy's already here. Guys, I don't want to get everyone excited, but I feel like regardless of this not being inverted keys, I feel like Emo will still burn this shirt. Because the seed's not great. And I feel like if there's any kind of gentle push she needed in that direction, this seed's going to be it. The Emo getting her heart piece at Quakefish. We see a bow on Andy's side. Fails the hover again. All right. All right. He's very regimental today, Andy. Failed the hover the first time on the first race. Nailed it the second time. Failed it the first time this race. Nails it the second time. So we have Darkwold Death Mountain still to kind of cover off. And we also might have TR here. Still don't have a Quake. TR could be Quake. But we have that bow now, so the Red Cane is in Logic. So now Andy's going to be in Emo as well. We'll be way more inclined to kind of go up in and check what's up in there. Again, independent TR. Who would have thought? Oh, look, we have access. It's the Bombos medallion. We don't need to throw any birds at the medallion post today. Can you imagine if that's like some sick glitch that no one's like thought of? You just like freeze a murder dactyl, throw it at like Myra's entrance, and it just opens up. Oh man, that'd be so sick. Just the hidden tech. All right, guys. All right, guys, get ready for it. You know what's coming. You know what? The big Kia hair. Oh god, Andy's gonna just hover the cave. We all know it's coming. We're just gonna. All right, I'll give you some. That's what it sounds like when a pug hovers. Okay, guys. You didn't hover there. I'm just saying, guys. Like, what do you think it sounds like? There's a lot of rolls to skin there, all right? All right, so another key to pod. And TR big. Yeah, that's right. TR big. So now you have full TR access. Andy's going to get the small key up here on the Lonely Island. Another key to pod. So I think that's all 6 now? Yes, that's all 6 small keys, the pod. Yes, Emo can hover as well, yes. Because she a real gamer. Oh my god. Chat, does that just not make you happy seeing that there? It made me happy seeing it there. Alright, well, Andy's just not happy now. He's like, well, who cares about TR big, you know? I didn't have a hook shot. I couldn't do it. Alright. Nemo, what are you going to do next? Super Bunny first time imagine? Yep. That's what I would do. That is so unfortunate for Andy. Like, it didn't really matter. Like, he didn't lose too much time, but he does lose time hovering. Like, that's the crux of the conversation, right, guys? He does incur a little bit of a time loss there. But long run of things, it's not that big of a deal. We are going to see the upstairs Ahara for the first time this seed. You might imagine you can get a follow suit as well, knowing that it's a crystal. Our runners are close, guys. It's just so funny seeing the, in hindsight, like seeing the TR big. You're like, oh, that's not in Logic. And then the hook shot just like right next. It's pretty, that's like the, you know, the Solski presents misplay of the day. Oh, God. Yeah, so you have that hook shot right now. It's not really doing much for you anymore. Now that you've gotten those keys, like it's swamp access. You need it. You know, potentially it is a pendant. But the bigger news is, hey, now I can do all of TR. And by all TR, I mean what I'm limited to with that one small key I have. But I can still go through TR. I think you need 2 to get all the way to the midpoint in there. You need 2 to get to Laser Bridge and Crystal Roller, if I remember. How well do I know Randomizer and A Link to the Past? Is it 2? Don't chat. I'm not looking at chat. Hold on. I'm not looking at chat. Don't. I need to do this. This is a me thing. Zemo finds red rupee in the first chest in TR. It's the first key gets you through the first door. There'll be a pokey to get you through the second door. And then you need, so that would be the burn key there. And you need a second key to get through that door at the chain chomps. That's what it is. Yeah, so it's those first 2 key doors to get through with the first 2, and then the third gets you through Trinex, and then the fourth gets you through lava. Big key to Thieves Town. Do you bail? Do you stay? How much of a gamer you want to be? Big gamers right here. We're staying in. It is keys. I agree with the play. I feel like this is the smarter and the safer play. Both. So they went out on both. Again, only because it's keys. If this was not keys, I would leave here. And I would just press my luck elsewhere. Well, I guess, you know, that kind of sucks as an argument, right? It's like, well, I wouldn't get Thieves Town Big Key if it was in keys, right? So, Andy's saying no. Emo's saying no. Same time. Because they can't do anything else. See you later. They can't do anything else, guys. So they're going to go to Thieves now. Finish that off. Why not? Crystal. Easy call. But again, this is kind of like the Key Sanity Deluxe, right? Emo going to go ahead and do Hera here. Andy going to go for Thieves. So Andy with a bit of a 4-3 lead here on the crystal count. Emo's going to catch up with 4 to make it 4-4, and Andy's going to pull a bit ahead again, 5-4. So it's Andy's just kind of widening the lead a little bit here. But I wouldn't say the game's over yet. But like in terms of Key Sanity seeds, this is kind of getting pretty linear at this point, right? And like I said earlier, is that when you get all those like early good items that open up a lot of stuff logically, it's kind of like, now I'm just looking for keys. And how does a Key Sanity C play out like that in the mid to late game? Well, now I got to just go to Dungeon A, Dungeon B, Dungeon C, Dungeon C, D, etc., and just collect the keys I need. And sprinkle in an item or 2 I need, why not? Okay, Emo finishing up her Moldorm fight here is now going to be 4-4 for the crystals. Again, she's about half a Thieves Town away from Andy and a flute. There's not really much else she could do either, so it's pretty much just going to follow suit. There's just not a lot of wiggle room right now in the sea, guys. You don't have a Swamp Palace small key from saving you from a potentially bad decision, and you just keep running yourself into crystals. So for the sake of like how bad this started, again, I'll call it out, is that it's moving quite well now. Emo gonna make the play to spike. Okay, gonna clean that up. Thief some big keys chest, or the big chest is gonna have silver arrows. Emo showing us how to properly do Spike Cave. Good. Compass TR is going to S and Q out. Smart. Okay. And Andy's going to have his blind fight. Just you see that little tap at the end, guys? Like the first phase on blind? Just a little love tap. Just a little love tap. We get small key to gain his tower. Again, a functionally useless small key, but not really. So within the logic of this tournament for key sanity mode, just key sanity mode, is that the castle tower small keys are going to be vanilla, and GT big key is going to be vanilla as well. So GT smalls are actually consideration of things that they want to find. Normally, like, who cares? Useless key, right? But in this instance, it's one of those things that, yeah, it's pretty nice to find. Right, Andy gonna go ahead and clean up the Skullwood's big chest here. It's the play that Emo did do earlier. Really quick bomb line up there. I gotta learn that. Learn that lineup. It's pretty sharp. Okay. So imagine the obvious play is gonna be the powder check. It's not an obvious play because I was like trying to think about what else they could do. They got powder and God, what else? Probably more pod. I don't think they've checked all the chests in pod, so they do have that option. Yeah, they didn't do the pod big key chest, and they didn't do they didn't do the harmless chest, but it doesn't really matter. Andy gets his quake there, and is a big key away from go mode, essentially. Still is looking for pod's big key, but feeling good, knowing that he has 8 items awaiting him at Mire, and his 6th crystal here. So imagine Emo will be following suit. There's not a lot of options for our runners to do, and I feel like a big piece of that is to not have an option to swamp. So really there's just not a lot of play here, and a lot of, I don't want to call it creativity, but a lot of ways you can kind of think about this C, because I'm just, again, going point A, point B, point C. But it's not inverted. It's not inverted. This will kill room from Andy again. Emo going in for a blind fight now. Does not give blind the little bit of a back tap on the head there. Much kinder. Okay, we have small key for Swamp Palace for Andy. Well, bad decisions may be coming soon, but I feel like it's the only decisions coming soon because we don't have any more TR smalls. What else do we have? We have Swamp to kind of full dive, and then we have Pod to go back to for like 2 chests and hope my big key's there. So I guess it's really like how spicy you're feeling. And you get another Mire bit, small key here. Again, it's like, how spicy do I feel? But I feel like the seed's quickly coming to a close here. I feel like both our runners are going to play Swamp. I'd be surprised if Emo doesn't go to Swamp and goes to Pod instead. If you're like a traditionalist and that like whole I need to go to a crystal dungeon first sense, it's correct, right? But again, math-wise, doesn't really work out. We see a heart container on the Mire bridge. So yeah, Emo gonna head over to Myers. He's like, "Yup, I like this option. It's the crystal option. There's no better option." Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She didn't take care of the duck. Oh, no. She didn't take care of the duck, guys. Well, she's getting hit. And lost her sword beams. That's unfortunate. Classic Link to the Past, guys. So sword beams slash sometimes will not kill a monster. If you have the appropriate level of sword to one-hit it. Mainly because, like, the game basically places those sword beams ahead of your sword, so if you don't space out your hit well enough, the sword beams will strike the monster instead of your sword, and you have that sadness happen. So that's unfortunate. She has a duck at home. It's okay. Is it okay though? Is it though? Red shield for Andy. One of my favorite items in the game, secretly. I actually really liked the red shield growing up. It was one of my favorite items in the game. Because it like protected you against the bullets, so I really liked it. Felt like it was very, at least from like a casual playthrough, it was very functional. Helped me out a lot in the game. I like the look of it too. It's also like a really cool way you find it too. Like you have to toss the item in the fairy fountain too, right? It's got all these neat little things going for it. Okay, Emo gonna do her left side of Mire here. Andy setting up Spooky. It's a trick not my bag of tricks. I do know how to do it. I just never do it properly, so I don't. Fun fact. Is going to activate the remainder of Spooky by hitting that torch there, and hits the switch. Kind of neat tech there. So the answer is not in Mire. All right, so now it's gamer time, guys. Now we're kind of in a fork in the road, right? Like you have, the good option, and then you have the bad option, but you're blindfolded, so you don't know which is which. And you have the crystal pod you can go back to and try to hope to get lucky, or you have this pendant swamp that you can just like spend 6 minutes of your time at. Honestly, this is a big pivot point, because if we have one go the other way and one go the other way, which might just happen here with Andy going to pod, this could be a deal breaker for the race. So we have Andy heading over to pod. I feel like it's even hard to say this is the safe play. I feel like it's the correct play just because it's a crystal pod. But this is such a tough decision to make. I know a lot of people would be like, no, you got to go to swamp, but it's like, pod bigs here, you just like win. Like, I get it, like your competitor might do it too, but it's the fact that you made that call. You'd be like, oh, thank God I made this call, dude. I'm so good. I feel like this is definitely the play of the match here if this works out. It's kind of spooky that you have all 6 pod smalls too. Normally that just doesn't turn out until like go mode, I find a lot of the time. So it's really odd that it did happen this early. Get nothing in that pod big key chest. So we have one more chest Andy can check, which is the Hellway chest, the one with all the spikes and the statues in it. All right, we're making our way through the basement of Mire. This is ominous music for this play here. Okay, harmless Hellway chest. It's a map, so it's not here in pod. Right, so I believe Andy's last play here is going to be Swamp. So now Emo has that similar decision. I believe she has the same options as Andy after this Mire play. I don't think she has anything left either. Andy's going for Hammer, so he's going somewhere else. He's going to... Oh, never mind. Guys, I played this game before. It's okay. I definitely... did not just forget you need to strike that hammer peg to get to Dark World. It didn't definitely just happen. It's fine. Emo going for sword spin strats here, but it's not working out for her. It's a little dicey, actually. I'm kind of surprised. He gets good lightning patterns there to recoup. That was getting kind of... That was getting a little close there. I know what she's going for. Like, the butter spins, it's the same as tempered spins, but it's like 2 spins are out. They're like, you're done with the eyeballs, right? It is the faster strat, but it kept getting... She kept getting bopped by, like, the middle and left middle eyeball there. So it's really... It wasn't... I don't want to call it her fault, but it was definitely unfortunate to get double bopped. Trying to set up a spin. Small key to Skullwoods. Guys, I can't wait for like 3 TR small keys to be in this swamp. Emo's making the play to swamp. Okay, so she's going to catch up a lot of time by doing this. She's going to catch up a lot of time on this. So this is good. This is getting close. We're getting down to like, it's going to come down to GT territory at this point. Just kidding. She has to do Fat Fairy. My mistake. All right, well, forget that, guys. It's fine. She might go to Pod 2 after Fat Fairy because it's actually really close. It's a literal dashing distance, so she may make that play as well. And if it's that, then oh yeah, that's right. She can mirror. It's not that bad. She can use the mirror. Why is she? What is Emo? Emo? Did you get lost? What was that? I think Duck angered her, and she was like holding down to that left input with like the Fist of Rage. 1,000 Rage Suns. That's the only plausible thing I can think of here. As Andy makes his way to the flooded chest. They do that neat little diver down trick here. Small key to TR. Oh! Oh! Alright. Emo, unfortunately, is going to make the correct call, I feel, here with Fat Fairy going to Pod, and then Andy's just going to find that Pod big in Swamp. So, oh no. Go. Andy just has to basically go ahead and kill Helmet here, and then, again, knowing that GT has to have the big key for GT, just has to climb it. So, just has to find that big key and climb it. So, the usual shebang, but has all 4 small keys. Is it really plot armor though? I don't think this one was plot armor at all. Plot armor would be like Andy forgot something, right? But it actually made his go mode like 15 minutes faster when he goes back to it. That's plot armor. Like Andy and opponent are playing, and then opponent misses something when they're significantly ahead. Andy checks it and it's like go mode. Like that's plot armor. Like this is just, it's just a race, right? This is just normie stuff. That was so nice. Andy just gave the Spike a little tip on his way out. He's Give it a little bit of a hug. Hey chat, what was your favorite part of this seed? You know, mine was finding out it was keys, and that was it. Oh boy, keys! Aw. Aw. Honestly though, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think I enjoyed the other race a little bit more just because there's a little bit more going on with it. Like, I feel like there's a lot more decision making involved. Right? Whereas this one got pretty linear past the opening segment. And yeah, well, they had decisions. I feel like they made all the right calls there. It just came down to, hey, you know, Andy got a little bit of extra ahead just on the way he read his stuff. And then Emo just got a little bit behind. And that was it. The seat was definitely a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be, though. It was definitely a lot nicer. It could have made him go back to TR, for example. Like, it definitely could have just done that. So, Emo draining the flood here. So, going to be entering Swamp Palace very shortly. Our Pug Lad, though, is going to have his 7th crystal. Is going to be able to climb into GT now. Yeah, in terms of the keys, this was pretty linear. Which is pretty rare, I want to say. I know, like, in some cases they get like that, but I feel like there generally is, like, a lot of decision making, especially in the midpoint. But this one was kind of, I don't want to call it free, but there's a lot of easy calls there in the seed. Nah, guys, it's fine. It'll be like the small key will be in the first chest. All will be fine. It'll be fine. There's definitely no way the small key is in a bad spot. Meyer small key. Easy call. All right, well, good game. Thanks for playing, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed Fight Night. The first showing. There's still a race going on, guys. It's fine. All right, Andy's just gonna have to climb here. I'm gonna go back and get another beer. I'll be right back. It's important, guys, to stay hydrated during these kind of events. I've been casting for over 4 hours. What kind of beer? It's a Stella. It's my daily driver. It's just funny that I call it that. I don't really drink daily. Like, I had a spit or a spat, I guess you call it. It's a spit. Lol. Where I would just have a beer. Like every night or whatever. Just like one. But then I accrue that pretty quick. So I just have it now as like a kind of a weekend thing. Sometimes a after work thing. Just depends on the day, but usually kind of keep it pretty well in check. Less hydrated? Nah. I like the GT climb music that Andy has going on. Solsky, did you go through all the alcohol you got for your wedding? I think I still have some left, actually. Guys, my wedding was like 3 years ago, by the way. I think I still have a little bit left. I think it's my gin. My gin, and I think everything else is gone now. Andy failing the hover there. Unfortunate. Yeah, if there's one thing I really focused on for my wedding was... so my wife took a lot of the rain, like, you know, they do when it comes to weddings. The two things I kind of wanted to nail down was the booze and the food. Like, that was, like, to me... Like, I'm not a big wedding guy, but, like, the thing that really stands out for me is, like, do I really like the food? And do I have enough booze? And I made sure there was both, right? It was well-stocked. It's obviously, you know, open bar. And the food was really nice. So we had a local chef cater ours. Ran a couple of successful restaurants in our area, and it was outstanding. It was a pretty cheap plate per plate dollar amount. Like, I paid a little bit more than other couples had for food, but I knew what I was getting was going to be good. And oh baby, I didn't do any speeches at my wedding. Like, it was like kind of like a party almost, but it wasn't really. Like, there's the formality of it, of course, but like a lot of people gave us a lot of, you know, kind of good graces. They're like, oh man, this was like one of the best weddings I've ever been to, because they're like, you know, it wasn't like drawn out with like a lot of speeches, and you know what I mean? So. Oh, Andy's alt account's here. What's going on, Andy? Let's see how your Ganon fight is, boy. So, very poetic here. We see the circles of fire on Andy, while the circles of crystals are along Emo. But luckily for Emo, it's a pretty hop, skip, and a jump away from that big key. So, Andy, stop beeping. You're giving me the anxiety. It's not really giving me anxiety at all. Believe me when I say this, guys. Like, the beep does not bother you in Ganon fights. It does not bother you at all. Turn up your audio a bit. Okay. Better. All right, switching audio to Emo. Oh, God. All right, guys. Andy Tjjoll's Fight Night, a.k.a. the Link to the Past randomizer tournament group matches for tonight, with a total time of not what I have on stream here. We'll call it 1:30:54. Official race time of 1:38:53. Oh, it was actually really close. It was really close. It's off by a second. Easy.
He sucks.
What is the hell was that? Chat, was that a ghost? Like, what was that? Is that gonna be my new my stinger transition? So the invitational. God. All right, well, Andy wins, everyone. Woo! That's about all I got. Unfortunate for Emo, but she still had a good race. Anyone else love the immediate boots into the immediate pearl? Yeah, it was hilarious. And then I remember that the Castle Tower keys were vanilla, and I was like, oh, it's not that great. It could have been a cool story, but then it wasn't. Andy won the first match as well, so Andy is 2-0 today. Too much gaming from his side of the field today. The big 4-0. That's right. That's right. That's right. I believe he has 2 more matches on his docket, but pretty much cinches himself into the brackets now. So 160 for Key Sanity. He's pretty good too. All right, enough of the cat jam. Some classical music going on. Okay, we're gonna watch Emo kind of wrap it up. Nice little Aga fight there from Emo. Finishes up cleanly. So Andy, my favorite part about this match was was when you got the you know, the TR big, and then you got your hook shot like immediately after. Just like get owned. Oh my god, it was so good. The odds were not there for that to happen, but it just happened. What's worse is you guys had to go to TR again. But you know, he's seed, so I'm not really surprised. Hook and TR. That would have actually been big. Because then you had that early advantage of not having to double dip. Potentially, but it just didn't work out that way. All right, Emo gonna finish off here. And is gonna finish this race off with a hot 144.25. Really good times for Key Sanity. Really good run by both of the runners. Really good run by all our runners tonight. A lot of fun.